betrothed was given to his best man. So he was betrayed.
Yeah.
The people he trusted
betrayed him.
They gave away his wife, and that is when he started causing trouble.
Yeah.
Now God was in the issue, but the issue was never dealt with, because the Bible says they did not know that God was in the matter.
Yeah.
To cause trouble against the Philistines.
Yeah.
But the trust issue
was never dealt with. So this guy withdraws, and the only person he can talk to is Delilah.
But get this, before coming to Delilah, he had a couple of prostitutes.
Yeah.
That he was using.
Yeah.
So this was a restless man.
Yeah.
This was a hurt man, right from his youth. And the place he went to find rest was in Delilah's laps. And that is what has happened to many men.
Samson, very apt example, is a warrior.
Straight.
Through and through warrior.
Called by God, Nazarene.
Yeah. Actually anointed and called, set apart to be a warrior. Which is basically the same thing for every man out there, alright? It doesn't mean that the warrior is always going to be a warrior.
No.
He's going to get to some point in time that he's going to need
help,
a shoulder to lean on,
someone to talk to,
someone who can actually see his weakness and know his trouble, where he's struggling. So
if you are the mother of Samson, or if you are the wife of Samson, whereby Samson here is the warrior son with an unresolved wound. If you do not pay attention to that wound, this Samson is going to end up on Delilah's laps. And Delilah is in this for the money.
That's the problem.
Delilah is not in this for Samson.
You see, when you're saying that, one of the things that you wanted to cover in this episode today is what can women do to help their men. And I wanted to draw your attention to Delilah. Look at how powerful Delilah is. That such a warrior would entrust his secret and actually totally unmask. Forget about unmasking his nakedness, but unmasking his very single secret to Delilah. So if you can flip that, you can see the crucial opportunity that our women have, right, to offer that safety space. And I know when we talked about this last week, Nabuguzi was like, that's such a hefty burden or hefty responsibility to put on a woman.
But we are in this together.
We're in this
a
together.
A good man is the best thing that can happen to a woman.
But let me tell you this. I wanted to draw this because this is important for our women. They have so much power, not to wield the power, but they have so much power that if they only knew.
You see, I keep telling people that we are where we are today because the original men who pushed the patriarchal agenda of keeping women, behind and all that, some of it came from a good place and then it was really poisoned. That a lot of the things that are backward as far as gender relations are concerned, you find that it was a man trying to protect the woman. Like when you look at how Arabs treat their wives, out there in public, it seems like the woman is being oppressed. Take an Arab home, he has no power in his house. Why? The woman runs that show.
The empire.
You get?
Yeah.
And even when you think about it in a normal family, as a confident, self-knowing man, with a good woman, he will entrust the issues of home and nurturing to her, and like, me, I'll go out, I'll fight, I'll bring the bread, but here you're in charge.
Talking of Asians,
so if the men had continued with this attitude and let women be women, we would not be having a lot of this confusion we are having. Because when you think about it, deep down, women, even when they are leaders, need to be led, feel a need to be led.
But you see, what I was saying earlier on is that the woman look at Delilah in a positive way.
That's what
as in she doesn't want to take away this man's strength. She doesn't want to sell his secrets out, but she really just wants to help. Look at how vulnerable this warrior is, so much so that he's able to unmask to his woman.
I have a perfect example for you. The opposite of Delilah, where a woman helps a man to be a better man. It's a story of Abigail in the Bible.
Yeah.
So for those of you who are not conversant with the story of Abigail, Abigail was a woman who was married to a man called Nabal.
Yeah.
And David at that time was
fleeing from Saul.
Yes, and he was in the wilderness. And part of his social responsibility was taking care of the farmers in that neighborhood. So time came when they were sharing sheep. And David sent a message to Nabal and said, we have been looking after your sheep. And nothing has happened to your flocks. We request that you share with us. You know,
we are in need now.
We're in need.
Yeah.
And he sends back a message like, who are you? Who is David? You're just a flea.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And so get out of my face kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they went and reported this to David, and he got mad. He was vexed. Like, how? Who does this guy think he is?
Yeah.
And he put on his armor and said, if by this time tomorrow there's somebody standing in that household, I'm not David.
Yeah.
And then the message got to Abigail, the wife of this man.
Yeah, trouble is coming.
Trouble is coming. And the Bible says she got onto her donkey and said, put on bread, put on food, put on fruits, put on wine.
She carried everything
she could.
Yeah.
And she went and met David and said, oh, David, you're the king, you've been anointed.
Yeah.
I didn't know what happened.
Yeah.
But when I heard how this man had treated you, I was like, I'd forgive him. Even his name means what he is.
He's a fool.
He's a fool. So then she so please take this gift. And then this is where the opposite of Delilah comes in. She says, I want you to remember that you are a king, anointed by God.
Yeah.
Let it be far from you to have
this evil.
To have the blood of a fool on your hands. Wow. In fact, let it be far from you that the blood of a fool should disturb your conscience. You're a king.
Yeah.
And the Bible says she went on and just told him who he is or who he was. In this moment, he was acting like a kid.
Yeah.
But she literally reminded him that he's a king.
He's a king. He's a warrior king.
You get? So David said, wow, thank God that I have met wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he received the gifts and went back. That night she went back home. The next day the Bible says she told her husband what had happened.
The guy died.
He got a heart attack.
He died.
And died 10 days later. And David sent funds, married her.
See, that's the thing I was saying. The power of Delilah Abigail. Look at it from this angle, because Samson opens up to Delilah because of the way she was approaching. I was saying that to show the propensity of a warrior to open up, to unmask to a member of the opposite sex and talk to her about stuff, deep-rooted stuff that nobody else
honestly
knows.
If I was in the military intelligence, number one people on my spy payroll would be prostitutes.
But that's what they do. That's what they do. In real sense, that's what they do. In fact, there are very many women who are spies. When you watch movies, actually in real sense, there are quite a number of women who are spies. Because there's that power of a woman to unmask a man with no bribery and so on. Just natural unmasking. Okay, so now the danger here is this. Maybe the danger and also the blessing. Because it is so straightforward for this Abigail woman to become David's wife. Why? Because she gave him that space
to
become a good man.
She reminded
exactly. She spoke into his warriorness.
Because remember we talked about
his
the dichotomy.
Yeah.
In that moment he was
in the childish realm of responding with your emotions. You know, as a man, you respond.
Yeah.
And you know, I once told a woman this, and I told her, the next time that you and your husband make love, because she had been complaining about intimacy and how her husband just didn't really regard her and didn't tell her anything, and she felt like she was you know, useless to him because he was quite a macho dude. And I told her, this is what I want you to do. I'm going to be graphic for people out there. I told her, this is what you do. I want you to first of all understand that the part of a man's anatomy that makes him feel like a man, a hard guy, is also strangely the softest part of his body. The hormone that makes a man masculine comes from his testicles. And that is the softest part of a man's body. Yeah? But again, that is where the saying comes from when a man is being rebuked for not acting. Man, they say, you know what, grow up here. Yeah, like, do you have balls? Meaning you're a dude. But there is no dude physically with balls of steel. Maybe Iron Man. I don't know. But I told her, this is what you do. The next time you make love, I want you to take a moment and put your head on his chest and have his balls in your hands and just gently play with them like you'd be playing with marbles and tell him these things and tell him, you know what, you're a very good man. Thank you for providing. Thank you for looking after me and our children. Thank you for being kind. Thank you for being generous. Basically, just thank you for being you. And she's like, but this guy, this is a hardy guy, even doesn't now take compliments. I told her, no, this is not about compliments. And also, neither is it manipulation. This is new communication, like going to a deeper level where you are able to have your man's life in the palm of your hands by playing with his balls. So I told her, you just go and do that, and then you come and tell me because you're having sex. I've just told you how to have it differently. And strange, she comes back 2 weeks and she's beaming and she's like, yo, solution, you're really the solution, thank you. I'm like, yo, what happened? She's like, can you imagine? My husband calls me now every day, like 4 times, say, yo, how are you? I'm going here, I'm gonna do this.
He's now unmasking.
Yes.
He's telling
like, she's like, my husband has never told me his day's plan, but now he'll call me in the middle of the day and say, how are you?
Yeah.
I've sent you 20K just for airtime. I know, you know, but he's now updating her process by process, my friend.
Yeah.
She gave birth recently.
Wow.
And I wish I had the liberty to ask her to share her story about how powerful it is
to speak
when a woman allows, when a woman speaks to the heart of her man.
Yeah.
You know what happens? She goes beyond all these veneers of insecurity, all these masks and shades that he has been having.
Yeah.
And now he's able to open up and say, you know what? I've been feeling like this because I'm broke.
Yeah.
You know, I've been drinking too much because I didn't know how to talk about this.
Yeah. So he feels he's safe, he can share with her.
Yes.
He's not going to be judged. She's
that
going
is
to
the
understand.
Word. What makes a safe space is that there won't be judgment. Instead, there will be
acceptance.
You see, not just acceptance.
Yeah.
You see, it's not about accepting that my man is like that.
Yeah.
It's accepting that my man is like this because of this.
Yeah.
So you go beyond it and you unmask and you say, it's like a dog.
Yeah.
If a dog has a tick, that tick might not be on top.
Yeah.
So if your cow has it's called East Coast fever.
Yeah.
Which is caused by ticks.
Yeah.
You have to go and find the tick.
Yeah.
Because the sickness is just
the
symptom.
Yeah.
So if you don't remove the tick.
Yeah.
So this is what a gentle woman
yeah.
does. And it's not easy.
It ain't easy.
It's not easy for a woman to look at a man being childish.
Yeah.
And treat him like an adult.
Yeah. Is that the reason as to why women mature faster than men, so that they can, I don't know, naturally provide that space?
I think this is
Psychologically, anatomically, and biologically,